There's a huge event in 2 days for the crypto space, and that is the sentencing of Do Kwon. Do Kwon founded the Terra blockchain together with its Anchor protocol, and that blockchain, the implosion of that blockchain, caused the crypto winter in 2022. So Bitcoin moved from 69k down to 16k. That was mainly because of Terra Luna. Now with the upcoming sentencing, there is a lot of attention on the classic Luna token, but also on the revamped Luna token. In this video, we're going to look at whether or not it makes sense to buy into the current rally. This was the big promise, the reliable savings account, the Anchor protocol that was paying out more than 10% APY, while during the time we had very little interest rates. Because it was sold as something safe, many people moved their assets to the protocol when they wanted to be risk off, when they didn't want to get exposure to a potential bear market. But then the unthinkable happened. The UST stablecoin depegged and we went below 1 cent. Up to this day, one of the most viewed videos on my channel were warnings around the Luna protocol imploding. That's how important the protocol was at the time. When Luna lost billions and billions of capital, we saw how the entire crypto ecosystem changed, how the formerly expanding stablecoin market cap for the very first time started contracting. So people moved their crypto money back into traditional finance again. This is the stablecoin market cap across all stables. This is May of 2022 when Terra Luna imploded, and that contraction of capital in the ecosystem, that's what caused Bitcoin to fall from 69k down to 16k. And of course, with the implosion of Terra Luna, we have seen many knock-on effects. 3 Arrows Capital went belly up. FTX also had a harder time. And it took until October of 2023 to see inflows into the system again. The question is, since we still see inflows today, maybe it now makes sense to bet on the ecosystems that tended to go down. Now there's a lot of attention, right? There is Do Kwon's sentencing on December 11th. That's what caused the classic Luna token to more than double in the last 7 days. It also causes the regular Luna token, so the newly launched Luna token, to appreciate by more than 40% in the last 24 hours. Now it seems like after the implosion of the protocol, a lot of market makers still held the token. And it seems like those market makers continue to sell off the token. We tend to see long-term underperformance of classic Luna and Luna 2.0. But then sometimes we see those rallies. The rallies tend to be news driven. This is the classic Luna after the implosion relative to the altcoin market cap. We have seen very constant underperformance, and every now and then we get short-term rallies. This is more than 200%. So far from bottom to top, we are up 150%. I don't really like doing it, but that's how the YouTube game works. That's how the algorithm works. Please give this video a like if what you've seen so far has been useful. Thank you very much. And so you might ask the question, are we going to see just another deflation of a potential short squeeze? Because that's what I think is going on. I think enough people were betting on falling prices because of the selling from the market makers. And then when those shorts get squeezed, when they lose their capital, they start selling off again. Maybe the same will happen to Luna Classic again, or potentially also to the new Luna. So this is Luna 2.0 in the last years. Again, every now and then we see short squeezes. And if you're entering after a short squeeze a bit too early, there might be a secondary short squeeze, as we have seen at the end of 2023. So just because we are up doesn't mean we can't see another secondary run up. This happens very often if a short becomes too popular of a trade. So it is a player versus player game. If we have a project that tends to die long term, then it also seems to make sense to bet on falling prices. If then that trade becomes too popular though, it might make sense to short term manipulate the price. We have seen this the other way around for GameStop, right? The hedge funds were betting on falling prices of GameStop because the business model wasn't that solid. But then the retail investor started to buy up the stock to then push out the hedge funds. This is now happening the same way for Terra Luna, just at this time retail tends to bet on falling prices and the market makers, they are manipulating the price to the upside. In the last 24 hours, we saw 414 million worth of trading volume on the perpetual futures on Luna Classic and we saw 298 million worth of trading volume on the new Luna. Again, this is both on perpetual futures, that's on levered bets on the price. The spot market has of course much less trading volume, because really this is just a game of longs versus shorts, and some heavyweights are manipulating the price up. Of course there's always a story, but I think the main story is not the sentencing. I think the main story is just people betting on falling prices, justifiably so. And every now and then there is a short squeeze. And so I do think we are going to see a deflation of the price again. The question is only, will that happen directly, or are we going to see another squeeze and another squeeze and another squeeze? And will it take a bit longer until the price declines again? Have a look at the funding rate of Luna Classic. It tends to be negative. In other words, there are way more shorts than longs in the asset. Betting on falling prices is extremely popular, especially after October 10th, when many longs got washed out of the market. The same can be said for the new Luna. Again, October 10th was the turnaround. And with that rally, more and more people are now betting on falling prices. Open interest is going up on Luna Classic. It's also going up on the new Luna. And of course, there is positive correlation here, right? Whenever the price is going up, then open interest goes up as well. Whenever the price is going down, open interest is going down. If open interest is peaking at similar levels to those prior peaks, then with a decline of open interest, the price would also come back down again. If proper risk management is in place, I do think it makes sense to bet on falling prices. What's important though is that this is done on platforms where the funding rate isn't too negative. In aggregate, it's very expensive to bet on those falling prices, but luckily there is hyper liquid. And over here, the funding rate is normal. It's at 10.95%. That's the average funding rate. Here, the longs have to still pay the shorts to bet on falling prices of, in this case, the classical Luna token. I'd be very surprised if this long-term trend suddenly turns around and we see Luna suddenly appreciating over the next years. I do think that we will continue to see sell-offs. The only question is, where will that be? And so there's many ways to manage this, right? We could enter a short now, set a very tight stop loss, and then potentially get stopped out, re-enter again later, again with a short stop loss, etc. Or alternatively, we can also just dollar cost average into the position. So another way to look at this is we could go long Bitcoin, for example, go short the Luna token, and then we're effectively buying this chart. We can just dollar cost average. And if we fall a bit lower, we just double down on our Luna short versus BTC long. Yes, there is volatility in this strategy. Yes, this is going down by 59% potentially, but it also grows very quickly, right? Since beginning of the year, that position, even with the recent Luna rally, went up by 223%. This is where I believe the alpha in crypto is. It's in relative valuation trades. And that's also how I personally make my money in crypto. This is how I make the alpha, how I outperform just trying to time the market overall. If we have some assets that tend to underperform long term, we can just make money with that. Now, very few crypto YouTubers are willing to share their own performance. I've created a copy trading vault where I traded for the community members, the premium members of this channel, and the performance is shown here at the top. So we're trying to achieve performance independent of the macro environment. We are up so far 17.6% since July of this year, while Bitcoin during the same time frame went down by more than 22%. So we might be going sideways in Bitcoin, we are making money, we are going down, we keep our money. And the way we achieve this is with relative valuation trades. So we bet on altcoins to underperform that tend to have a rising supply, where the supply goes up faster than the demand. That then leads to those altcoins just long-term underperform versus the general market. So this is now Balancer relative to Ethereum. That's the Balancer supply chart. And we can simply just turn this around. So we just bet on Balancer going down relative to Ethereum. That's how we can make money in a market that overall might still be going down, but if the thing that we short goes down even further and at a quicker rate, that's then how we profit. And so there are two ways to benefit from this. You can simply just copy trade whatever I do. I always announce every trade that I make to the premium members in a channel in real time. Or you can join the next automated copy trading vault that will open again for deposits in January of 2026. That copy trading vault will be available to all annual subscribers. So you can simply start off with the monthly membership, and if you're starting to make first money with manually trading, you can also then swap to automated trading via yearly membership. I will, by the way, share my favorite trade once you join. So that's not Balancer anymore, it's something else. I will share that trade even if you just join on the monthly membership. And if you make money with that trade, then of course that's great. If you don't make money though, then I will refund the membership to you. So there's really no risk in just trying it out. If you don't make money with that first trade, I'll just send the $125 back. A link to Premium will pop up on the screen. It should be somewhere around here. Looking forward to seeing you on Premium. And again, thanks for watching. Cheers.